So this is my Sonoff R2 with the GPIO14 that I've added here. We're just going to solder on a resistor and hook up a sensor. So I've just taken a 4.7 k ohm resistor, bent over one lead so that I can solder it onto the header pin. If I didn't have the header pin there, I'd just run it up through the hole, but I used the header pin to flash it, and I figured I'll just leave it on there. So I just got a little bit of solder on there. I'm just going to tin the resistor here so that it sticks a little easier and faster. And I'm going to use the helping hands to hold this in place. Okay, maybe I won't use the helping hands. So now we have the resistor on there. Now we need the GPIO14 tied to that. So I'm just going to cut this a little bit shorter. It's kind of on the long side. And try and strip that without breaking it. I think I have these set for the right thickness. And they're old. There we go. So now I'm just going to wrap this. I'm going to wrap this around the resistor lead a couple times. I'm going to slide it back to the end of the resistor just so we can cut that lead off once we're done. And then we'll tin that. And we're going to cut that shorter. And now we can start. I have some header pins here. Just going to strip these, and then we can solder them on. Seem to be having a tough time twisting these up. So I wanted to cut these a little bit shorter. And the way I'm going to plug this into, I think this is a DH11. So I'm going to plug these in just so that they're parallel. Like so. And you can see that white is going to be plus, minus is going to be blue, and purple will be signal, obviously. So we'll start off with ground. I'm going to tin the wires here again. I mean tin the header pin here. This is ground on the Sonoff. Let me make sure you guys can see. It's remarkably hard to do when you have the camera right in your way there. So we have some solder on the ground, and ground was blue. White is your plus VCC. So I'm thinking probably I should have put the plus onto the other end of the resistor, because as soon as I heat up that solder joint, it's going to come apart, I'm sure. Okay, so we've got VCC and ground hooked up. So now we just have to connect the signal. Purple. Need a little more wire there. And that's secure. So now we have DH11 hooked up to Sonoff R2 on GPIO14. So I'm going to hook it up to my computer and we'll see if we get a signal. Make sure everything works. So here we have the R2 board with the DHT11 connected to GPIO14. Showed earlier that it's at pin 9 there on the bottom left hand corner. I'm going to run some heat shrink down and cover up some of those solder connections just to make it more secure when I close it all up, but just for now I'm going to test it. So I've got it hooked up for power. I just have to plug it in, and with the power on we have live voltage here, so we're not going to touch anything here, but we got the green blinking light showing that we have power now. And we need to find the the IP address of where it's at, and what I like to do is use NetStat, I think on my phone is what it's called. It's a program for just finding what's on your network. You download, I think the program was free, and I downloaded it, and you scan your network and it tells you all the devices that are on your network, and you're looking for the right device. And then once I get the IP address, I write it down on the top of the Sonoff. You can also use your router and see what new pops up there. And usually what I like to do is I like to lock in that. Sorry, it does have a DHCP. It's just on the reserve table. So it'll always get 173. It'll never change. So here we've got the computer. I'm just going to hit the refresh here since I've got it plugged in. And there's the Sonoff device. We're just going to toggle it, make sure that we hear the relay. So that's the right device. Go into configuration, configure module, and we need to select DHT11 because that's what that device is. I just bought a pack of the DHT11s off of Amazon. I think it was a pack of 5 for like $12 or something Canadian. So there we go. So then we'll save it. And I usually just wait. And it usually, once it restarts with the new settings, it restarts and the page updates, and there we go. So we have the relay toggle on off, and that was just me breathing on the humidity temperature sensor, and you saw the humidity spike up there. So we know that that's definitely the right one. Okay, that's it.